7-1-1 for Long. Unable to draw in. Shahar needs to play to get in. And as we zoom in on the board, here's what we see. Shahar going to fire off a Wasteland. Excuse me, Long going to fire off a Wasteland. You see his lands. Yeah. He's got 2 copies of Maze of Ith out there, 2 Groves, a Port. He will port a Plains, 3 Mox Diamonds. And there's a Batterskull token out there, but it's not going to do very much.
All right. Yeah, and based on the length of the game here, things are going in Long's favor. You see the prison he has set up, right? It is, he has two Maze of Iths right now. So that'll keep away the first 2 attackers that Shahar has. And if Shahar tries to port to tap one of these Maze of Iths, well, Long has a port of his own. I guess that doesn't work. So Shahar can maybe port one of them or Wasteland one of them. That'll work.
It's a momentary reprieve, though.
Yeah, there is Loam going for Long. So while Shahar draws 1 card a turn, Long draws 3+.
So. Now Long, one thing you'll note is he's got a bunch of cards in his hand. We don't know what they are just yet. I have a feeling there's a Punishing Fire over there, though. Yeah, there is. And it's going to take care of the Stoneforge Mystic. One thing you also see for Shahar is that he had a Rest in Peace in play at one point, but he no longer does, as a Crows and Grip took care of that. So Shenhar's tools have been dispatched, and now Long just gets to do his thing.
And this is where lands becomes really hard for a fair deck to beat.
Yep.
Not only does Shahar need 3 creatures to start attacking, but they all have to have toughness of 3 or more. And that's just to start attacking, not to mention the fact that when Long starts milling, he's going to find some cycle lands in here. He's going to start drawing 3-4 cards a turn.
It's a dredge there of the Loam. Crows and Grip, Life in the Loam, and Crop Rotation are the cards that are turned over. Again, Long's got this beautiful Punishing Fire Grove of the Burn Willow engine going, but he also has got the Life in the Loam, get back my Wasteland. Hopefully he finds a cycling land. Maybe Dark Depths work its way into the equation here, but he is very, very far ahead. One thing for lands that's a little bit difficult is it does take a little bit of time to close the game out.
Yeah, this deck used to be very slow at closing the game out. You would play something like a Colonnade or a Raging Ravine or an Antuco Monastery or maybe a couple Mishra's Factories. It would put you in a really hard prison lock and then would play 1 man land and then beat you up with it.
Back in my day,
yeah,
I had to do it with Barbarian Ring, which is embarrassing.
So you sack it 10 times at them?
Yeah, basically. Hopefully they submit before then.
That's lovely. I actually really like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now, thanks to Thespian Stage, you can play Thespian Stage in Dark Depths and just hit him with a 20-20. You actually can win 2 games 2 and 3 in the 50-minute time limit if you so choose to.
Pretty fast.
That used to be a thing that when you lost game 1, things just got real ugly for you.
Yeah. Seeker over the Burn Willows plus Punishing Fire going to go to work on that Germ token, so that's out of here. Shahar does have a 3-mana spell in his hand that he can put through the Vial. It's a copy of Mirror Crusader, but again, Punishing Fire will shoot that down. Going to dredge the Lone Wolf Long, so 3 cards coming. I imagine he's just looking for Dark Depths at this point. Horizon Canopy's not so bad. There's also a port there as well. This is I don't want to say it's my favorite card, but it's definitely near the top of my list as far as all-time favorites go. I love Life in the Loam so much because I like drawing cards, but I don't want blue mana to do it.
Life in the Loam is rarely up to fair things.
Yeah.
It's this interesting card how it has synergy with itself. It mills and then it mills its own targets.
Yeah. I've always been a huge, huge fan of this card. Here's a gamble from Long. He's going to search something up, and then he'll have to discard a card at random. Aptly named.
Yeah, gamble on those cards that you oftentimes can't play in Legacy because sometimes you just discard it. You find something and then it goes in your yard. But in a deck like Lands, where you really don't care where your Punishing Fires and Life from the Loams are, gamble does a pretty good job.
What's going to go to the bin? The Dark Depths. Kind of annoying, but in reality, not really.
I mean, most cards he gets, he has a way to get them back in his hand. So cards in his yard only stay there temporarily.
And Life in the Loam means that is going to be coming back. You see David's going to target his Canopy, his Port, and his Depths. So those are all going to go back to the Grip. And he could be on the verge of making a 20-20 here in a moment, excuse me.
The reason his hand is so full right now is he doesn't look like he's found an exploration effect this game. So he's actually just been playing 1 land a turn.
Yep.
So you'd have to assume his hand, because of all the Loams he's dredged, is just kind of full of lands.
He's playing a fair game. Shahar's going to pick up Batterskull.
And it can be demoralizing to play against lands as your hands really just start to do nothing. You look at his options, you know, these cards don't do anything here.
Yeah, I mean, you get to the point, right? And that's the object of a prison deck where what you draw doesn't matter. That's the entire goal of the deck. You're on no outs. I'll kill you at my leisure. And it makes the opponent pretty miserable. Here's a board activation going to shut down the plains. Make it so that Shenhar can't cast his Batter Skull this turn. Oddly enough, Shahar is at 28, so it's going to take more than one hit from the 2020.
2 hits from the 2020.
Yeah. There's a Sword of Fire and Ice.
If Shahar can ever get this sword on a creature, well, then David will just have to maze of it.
Yeah, then it'll get mazed of it.
But it won't get punished.
That's
it won't
true.
get punishing fired. So he'll have to resort to the next plan, which is mazing it.
Yeah, it's 2020 time.
And this is like where you get, right? So would you say, first you say, well, okay, if he gets a sword on a creature and wastelands these Mazaviths, and then you're like, wait, hold on, life him alone. So if he first resolves a Rest in Peace, then gets a sword on a creature, then wastelands the Mazaviths, and this is like why the prison deck can be so frustrating, because the chain you have to go down of what has to happen for me to deal damage just keeps getting bigger and bigger to the point where it's just something that can't happen.
Yeah. Well, here's the Avatar token. 2020 in the house.
It's going to stay around. Shahar at 28, as you said, so it's going to have to attack twice.
Well. Hiya! We don't see it take 2 of these, Shahar.
Nope.
Fine, I'll
All
take
right.
20.
Shahar down to 8, likely dead on the next attack here. And that's the thing, right? You could even if he draws swords, if he's kept it in and draws one, he can swords the 2020, and Long will just make another one.
Yeah. He can loan back the pieces and do it again, do it again. See what Long wants to do this turn. He can also finish off Shahar really with punishing fires too, if he has enough of them and doesn't have to have Shahar gain too much life. He's going to cast Loam now. Again, you mentioned too that the only thing that's really stopping him from just kind of going crazy is that he hasn't drawn Exploration. That's honestly it. He also has 2 mana bonds.
So if he wants to reassemble the combo, it's going to take him a lot of time because he has to go 1 land a turn, then 1 land a turn. But I mean, he can do it, and that's really what's important.
Yeah. That inevitability makes it so that Shenhar really can't get out of this. This Thespian stage is going to come down, and Long will pass the turn back. Shahar's going to untap, leave that Vial at 3, I imagine, and really just kind of hope for the best. We'll see here. He's going to do a little bit of math. See his hand there, a couple copies of Mother of Runes. Batter Skull there too. He's trying to figure out if there's a way for him to work himself out of the situation. Here's Mirren Crusader. It's going to come through the Vial.
Long with a myriad of ways to deal with this. He could punish it. He could maze it. I don't think it's... I mean, that's the point, right? None of Shahar's cards are really a concern for David Long.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
He can consult his hand. Maybe he has an answer, maybe he doesn't. But that's the entire goal here, is that I have a myriad of ways to do that. If you put a creature into play, what do I care? So he's going to survey. Yep, and now Shahar will untap. The Vial is still at 3. Shahar's draw this turn was a copy of Thalia. There are certainly board states where that can be a good one, but not right now.
There's a 2020 flying indestructible. Shahar doesn't have a kill spell here. So he's going to go for the last out. That's as if Sword of Fire and Ice connects. Shahar will draw 2 cards, but that is quite the world where this guy gets to do anything.
Yeah. Long is going to give Shahar a life, it looks like. Well, it looks like maybe he realized that he's got 2 Mazaviths in play, and so that doesn't actually matter.
None. You just look at this and you think, none of this matters.
Yeah. Now he's going to take a look at his hand.
You can pick which one you would like to do. Death and Taxes does not have ways to save their creatures in this situation.
This is gain a life, it looks like. Get back Punishing Fire and just kill it.
And he gets back 2 Punishing Fires. The second one has since been milled by Loam. And Still has a bunch of Mazoviths up and some Punishing Fire mana, and well, he's going to go ahead and take care of this Mirran Crusader.
Yeah, if he wants to keep the board clear, maybe go for a bit of a flawless victory. Yeah, there's that. So away that goes.
And as the clock ticks down, remember this is just game 2, but that is all it takes.
Yeah.
David Long moves up to 9-1 and moves into the top 8.
Chance for maybe #1 overall.
It is possible that he could be number one. I do think that Michael Dircho at 9-0 probably has that locked up. But David's going to be at 9-1. He's going to have great seating nonetheless.
Yeah. So if you like lands, and I'm a pretty big fan of that, truth be told, it's going to be in the top 8 this evening as well. So we can actually do a small archetype breakdown here. Again, Mustard's playing Miracles and